Chapter 2. In the Thick. By the time the Crucible and its Fifth Fleet escort arrived at Earth, the entire Alliance fleet, including their alien allies, have already engaged the Reapers. Amongst the Fifth Fleet was the Kilimanjaro and Admiral Hackett's vessel, the Phoenix. All had just dropped out of FTL. Hackett ordered them to hold back until there was an opening in the Reapers' defense, and until that opening was available. They would have to stay away from the battle and defend the Crucible from stray Reaper ships that would find them an easy target. On the bridge of the Kilimanjaro, the layout was the traditional maritime setup, with Admiral Hannah Shepard sitting in the central command chair. She watched helplessly as the battle horrifically played out on the Kilimanjaro's view screen. She saw too many Alliance and Allied ships falling at the hands of the Reapers. It was then that her thoughts of her son came into her mind. Hackett had told her before they left for Earth that her son was on the planet's surface, along with his team and Admiral Anderson. He had told her that he was leading an assault on the beaming tower that would transport them up to the Citadel. There, they hoped to open the Citadel ward arms and allow the Crucible to dock. But right now, the Citadel was still in lockdown mode, looking like a dark obelisk, tethered by a beam of white light from the planet. And all they could do right now was wait. Captain Eric Valentine stood at the side of his former captain, his hands behind his back, observing the conflict, and then he noticed something was happening to the Citadel.
Admiral, the Citadel.
The Admiral was studying a datapad at the time and looked up to see what was happening. The Citadel's gigantic ward arms were starting to slowly open, and she heard Admiral Hackett's voice came over the comms saying that Shepard had opened the Citadel, and he ordered the Crucible to be sent in. Hannah smiled.
That's my boy.
She opened communications to the Fifth Fleet.
This is Admiral Shepard. We are beginning our move on the Citadel. Keep close to the Crucible, and an eye out for any incoming Reapers. Helm, take us in.
Helm's officer, Lieutenant Lee Wilson, had a small smile on his young Asian face.
Aye, aye, Admiral.
The Crucible was remotely controlled by the Kilimanjaro's young-faced Chief Tactical Officer, Lieutenant Kate Farragut, and she commanded the Crucible to head for the Citadel. The Fifth Fleet and the Kilimanjaro stayed information around the Crucible as it moved on to its destination.
5 minutes until we are in range. No action by the Reapers. Looks like the Armada are keeping them busy.
They watched on the view screen as the furious battle raging on as the Crucible and its escort get ever so close to their destination. Stray shots exploded around them like anti-aircraft flak. Suddenly, one of the Fifth Fleet light cruisers was struck under its hull by the exploding flak. Wilson reported the hit on the cruiser.
The Alberta has been hit.
How bad?
The flak bypassed her barriers and damaged critical systems. She's losing speed and power.
Inform the Yorktown to break formation and assist the Alberta. The rest of the fleet will continue on.
Aye, aye, Admiral. 1 minute left.
He announced,
Begin docking procedure.
ordered Valentine. The massive curved panels that formed the sphere started to detach, then fall away to reveal a small sphere and 3 mechanical struts. The 3 massive struts were extended forward and out, which locked onto the Citadel's docking ring as the Crucible finally docks with the rest of the Citadel. After the Crucible had docked, the ward arms started to open out more, like a giant metallic flower in bloom. The Crucible had turned the Citadel into one giant weapons array that would hopefully destroy the Reapers and end the war.
Docking procedure completed,
announced the helmsman.
Then why hasn't it fired?
Asked Farragut.
Maybe it's only triggered from within the Citadel.
Open a channel to Admiral Hackett.
Her communications officer opened a channel.
Admiral Shepard to Admiral Hackett. Stephen, the Crucible is docked, and the ward's arms are fully opened, but nothing is happening. We think it has to be triggered from within the Citadel, but we don't know how.
Understood, Hannah. I'll see if I can get through to your son.
Hannah waited with bated breath as Admiral Hackett tried to contact Commander Shepard.
Hackett to Commander Shepard. The Crucible isn't firing. Commander, can you hear me?
Then she heard a voice come back over the bridge's speakers that caused her heart to end up in her mouth.
Tell me what to do.
Hannah could hear the pain and fatigue in his voice.
Commander, you'll need to activate the Crucible on your side.
There was no response, so he tried again.
Commander, can you hear me?
The comms was quiet.
Commander Shepard.
Hannah was about to say anything to get her son to respond to Hackett's hail, when Lieutenant Farragut called out with urgency.
Admiral, I've picked up a Reaper vessel leaving Earth and on an intercept course with us.
What kind?
Hannah could see the color drain from her young face.
Admiral, it's Harbinger.
Hannah felt a knot in her stomach, and hearing Harbinger's name filled her with dread, but she wasn't going to let it show.
How long?
Harbinger will be in weapons range in 10 minutes.
Bridge to engineering. Zane, looks like we've reached that last resort you spoke of.
Zane's voice came back over the comms.
How bad?
Harbinger bad.
Zane sounded a little nervous, but at the same time he was calm.
Understood, Admiral. Recalculating barrier modulation.
Why are you recalculating?
I wasn't expecting for us to be taking on Harbinger. Harbinger has twice the size and twice the firepower from a normal Reaper capital ship, such as Sovereign was.
How long to make the adjustments?
Already done, Captain. The bad news is that the 1-minute marker has doubled.
Hannah's eyes widened with astonishment.
2 minutes? Can our barriers hold out for that long?
Unknown.
Could we transfer all power apart from life support to the barriers?
Added Valentine.
It might help, but we're at that unknown region again.
Do it anyway. We need every advantage we can get.
Valentine turned to the male communications officer.
Inform Admiral Hackett of our plans.
Hannah knew what had to be done.
Helm, put us between the Crucible and Harbinger. I have a feeling that Harbinger knows what we're planning.
Aye, Admiral.
Time to stare into the belly of the beast.
Said Valentine grimly.
Fortune favors the bold Mr. Valentine.
Then let's hope fortune favors us.